Barry Gibb finally opened up about Kenny Rogers, and the truth had nothing to do with fame. For decades, Barry Gibb was known as the last Bee Gees standing, the men who carried an entire musical legacy alone after losing the voices that once harmonized beside him. The world saw success, awards, and history-making songs. What few saw was how deeply loneliness followed him, and how one quiet friendship helped him survive it. Barry was born on September 1, 1946, on the Isle of Man, far from the stages that would later define his life. He grew up in a working-class household where money was scarce but music was everywhere. As the oldest of the Gibb brothers, Barry felt responsibility early. He wasn't just a sibling, he was a guide, a shield, and often the calm voice in chaos. When the family moved to Australia, music became more than joy. It became purpose. Barry, Robin, and Maurice performed wherever they could, learning how to connect with audiences long before fame arrived. Even then, Barry led quietly, never demanding attention but earning it through discipline and belief in the craft. Their return to England in the mid-1960s changed everything. The Bee Gees exploded onto the scene with songs that felt raw and emotional. Barry wrote lyrics that sounded like letters never sent, honest, fragile, and deeply human. While the world heard pop music, Barry was telling stories of longing and heartbreak that people recognized as their own. As the band evolved, so did Barry. His voice shifted into a falsetto that would become legendary, not by design, but by instinct. That sound helped define the disco era, especially through the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, which turned the Bee Gees into global icons. Yet Barry never saw the music as trends, he saw it as emotional expression set to rhythm. Behind the spotlight, Barry became one of the most trusted songwriters in the industry. He wrote for artists whose voices couldn't be forced, only understood. Among them was Kenny Rogers. Barry respected Kenny not because of his fame, but because of his calm certainty. Kenny had walked through many chapters of music and emerged unchanged at the core. Then came the losses that shattered Barry's world. Andy died first. Then Maurice. Then Robin. Each death stripped away a piece of his identity. The harmonies were gone. The shared history was gone. And for the first time, Barry felt like he was walking alone. It was during those years that Kenny Rogers became more than a friend. He became a steady presence. Kenny never offered speeches or solutions. He listened. He understood grief without dramatizing it. Barry later said that Kenny's quiet strength taught him how to sit with pain instead of running from it. Kenny once told Barry something that stayed with him forever: "You don't race time, you learn to move with it." That sentence changed how Barry approached aging, creativity, and survival. Instead of chasing relevance, he embraced honesty. His later songs became softer, deeper, and more reflective. They didn't demand attention, they invited it. In 2020, Barry released Greenfields, an album that reimagined Bee Gees classics through a country and Americana lens. The songs sounded older, wiser, and more patient, like stories finally told at the right moment. That same year, Kenny Rogers passed away, and Barry felt the loss like another brother gone. When Barry finally spoke about Kenny, he didn't talk about chart positions or collaborations. He talked about humanity. About kindness. About being reminded who he was beneath the legacy. Kenny, Barry said, helped him stay human in a business that tries to turn people into products. In the years that followed, Barry continued to honor the past without being trapped by it. He received the Kennedy Center honor in 2023, and in 2024 he stepped into the role of executive producer for the Bee Gees biopic, determined to tell his brother's story with truth, not polish. At home, Barry's life remained steady. After an early marriage ended, he found lasting love with Linda Gray. Their marriage became his anchor, a place of peace when the world outside grew loud. Together, they raised a family that kept him grounded when fame threatened to pull him away. Today, Barry Gibb stands as more than a legend. He is a witness to time, loss, and resilience. And the truth he finally shared about Kenny Rogers wasn't a secret, it was gratitude. Because in the end, Barry said, Kenny Rogers gave him something no award ever could, the reminder that music matters most when it's honest, and life matters most when you listen.